38% of Americans can't fix one single thing in their house without Googling it. Your grandparents didn't have that option. They knew this stuff because they had to. But somewhere along the way, the basics got lost, and now one missed chore can cost you over $30,000 in damage. So let's bring back the 20 skills every homeowner needs to know. Number 20 is the main water valve. You'd be shocked how many people don't know where this thing is. A pipe burst at 2 a.m. Water spraying into the kitchen, and they're standing there in their socks, watching the floor flood. State Farm says the average burst pipe claim now runs over $30,000, which is your kitchen, your ceiling, and your floors all gone. The valve sits where the water line enters the house, usually in the basement, garage, or a crawl space. Find it today, tag it with tape, and turn it a few times so it doesn't seize up the day you need it. Future, you will thank the present you on the worst night of your life. But the next skill matters even more, because not knowing it can kill you in your sleep. Number 19 is your smoke detectors. A third of Americans never test theirs at all. Meanwhile, the National Fire Protection Association says working smoke alarms cut your chance of dying in a house fire by 60%. 3 of 5 fire deaths happen in homes where the alarm didn't work or wasn't there. And in nearly half those broken alarm cases, the battery was just missing or pulled out because someone got annoyed by the chirp at 3 a.m. and ripped it out. That little plastic disc on the ceiling is the difference between waking up and not waking up at all. Push the test button once a month, swap the batteries twice a year, replace the whole unit every 10 years. And speaking of fires, almost every home has the next thing on this list, but nobody knows how to use it. Number 18 is the fire extinguisher. Most homes have one, and almost nobody knows how to use it. A Kitty survey found 58% of Americans don't know the pass method, which is the only way these things work. First, pull the pin, then aim at the base of the flames, not the top. Then squeeze the handle and sweep side to side. Cooking is the #1 cause of house fires in America, and more than half the people who got hurt in a kitchen fire got burned trying to fight it the wrong way. Water on a grease fire is the worst thing you can do because it explodes the burning oil right into your face. Check the gauge right now, and if the needle isn't in the green, your extinguisher is a paperweight. But there's another fire hazard quietly sitting in your laundry room. Number 17 is the dryer vent. You clean the little lint screen after every load, which is great, but that's not the part that catches fire. The duct behind the dryer is the actual killer. The NFPA tracks almost 16,000 dryer fires every year, and a third happen because nobody cleaned the duct. Lint builds up inside the hose, the dryer overheats, and the lint lights up like flash paper. January is the worst month because your dryer's working overtime in winter and that duct is packed full. Pull the dryer out twice a year, unhook the hose, and vacuum it out from both ends. If yours uses thin plastic or foil flex hose, swap it for rigid metal because the flex stuff crushes and traps lint. A $10 part stops your heater from cracking open and pumping carbon monoxide into your bedroom, and that's the next chore on the list. Number 16 is the furnace filter. Some folks have lived in the same house for 10 years and never touched it. The filter is that flat panel slotted into the return vent or the side of your furnace, and it costs $5 to $20 depending on size. Skip it. The dirt clogs the airflow, the furnace overheats, and the heat exchanger cracks open. That cracked exchanger can leak carbon monoxide into your house, which is the gas you don't smell and don't wake up from. Best case, you blow up an HVAC system that costs $5,000 to replace, What would have been a $10 filter change becomes a $500 repair. Check it every month and change it every 1 to 3 months. And there's even more money leaking out of your house right now, literally. Number 15 is checking your water meter. The EPA says the average American home wastes 9,300 gallons a year on leaks nobody knows about. A faucet that drips at night, a toilet flapper that doesn't seat right, or a pipe joint weeping inside a wall all add up fast. Try the 2-hour test your grandparents used to run. Go to your water meter, which is in a little box in the yard or basement, and write down the number. Don't flush. Don't run anything. Don't even wash your hands for 2 hours. Read it again. And if the number moved at all, you've got a leak somewhere. A family of 4 using more than 12,000 gallons a month in winter almost definitely has a leak. That's free money walking out your front door every month. Up at 14 is the cheapest fix in the whole video, and you're going to be mad nobody told you. Number 14 is fixing a running toilet. You hear that little hiss in the bathroom at night, and the toilet's costing you money? A toilet running non-stop wastes over 200 gallons a day. The EPA puts a moderate leak at 6,000 gallons a month, which is about $70 down the drain every month, 90% of the time. The problem is the flapper, which is that rubber thing at the bottom of the tank. It gets stiff, warps, and stops sealing. The part is $5 to $10 at any hardware store, and the job takes 10 minutes. Try this trick to test it. Drop some food coloring into the tank, don't flush, and come back in 10 minutes. If the color shows up in the bowl, your flapper is shot and you swap it out. But fixing your toilet won't save you from a $100,000 flood. The next one will. Number 13 is winterizing your outdoor pipes. Every fall, your grandparents drained the garden hoses and shut off the outdoor spigots. They didn't do it for fun. They did it because water expands by 9% when it freezes. That pressure inside a sealed pipe can hit 2,000 pounds per square inch. They saw, and the pipe doesn't just leak, it splits wide open. When Winter Storm Uri hit Texas in February 2021, State Farm went from 75 frozen pipe claims in the whole previous year to 29,000 claims in about a week. The average payout these days runs over $30,000 per claim. Unscrew the hoses, drain the spigots, and slip a $5 foam cover over the outdoor faucet. In a deep freeze, let your indoor faucets drip and open the cabinet doors under the sink so warm air reaches the pipes. Now let's tackle the outlet that you already tripped that you didn't notice. Number 12 is the GFCI outlet reset. Your bathroom outlet stops working, so you panic and call an electrician at $150 a visit. He walks in, presses one button, and leaves with your money. GFCI outlets are the ones with the little test and reset buttons on the face. You'll spot them by sinks, in the garage, on the back patio, and in basements. They trip the second they sense water or a short. The catch is that one tripped GFCI can kill power to a whole string of outlets you wouldn't think were connected. If a plug suddenly dies, walk through your bathrooms, kitchen, garage, and outdoor outlets first. Find the one with the pop button and press the reset button hard. Test them once a month with the test button to make sure they still work. 11 is the panel everyone's scared of, but nobody should be. Number 11 is reading your breaker panel. It's that gray metal box in the basement or garage with rows of switches inside. When a breaker trips, you'll see one switch sitting in the middle, pointing nowhere. To reset it, push it all the way off first, then back on. That trips a lot of people up. They flip it straight on, nothing happens, and they think the breaker is broken. The bigger issue with most panels is labeling. Every switch should have a label saying what room or appliance it controls. But half the panels in America say things like lights or just nothing at all. So when something goes wrong, you're flipping random breakers like you're playing the lottery. Spend an afternoon with a friend where one of you flips and the other calls out what died, and label everything in pencil. Now let's flush years of crud out of the next appliance. Number 10 is maintaining your water heater. Your water heater has a part inside called the anode rod, which is a metal stick hanging down into the tank. Its only job is to rust and corrode so the tank itself doesn't, and plumbers call it sacrificial for a reason. Most people don't know it exists. Then 10 years later, the tank rusts through and floods the basement at 3 in the morning. New tank, new install, and water damage cleanup puts you at $2,000 minimum. Check the anode rod every 3 to 5 years, and if more than 6 inches of the inner wire is showing, replace it. The part costs about $30 and buys you another decade of tank life. Flush a few gallons out the drain valve once a year to clear the sediment piling up on the bottom. Number 9 looks cosmetic, but it protects your entire foundation. Number 9 is cleaning your gutters. People think gutters are about leaves, but gutters are about your foundation. 1 inch of rain on a typical roof produces over 1,200 gallons of runoff. When the gutters are clogged, all that water dumps right next to your house. The soil under your foundation soaks it up, and clay soil swells about 10% when wet. That pressure pushes against your basement walls, cracks open up, and water gets inside. Foundation repair starts at $5,000 and goes north of $25,000 fast. Clean your gutters twice a year, in spring and again in fall, and make sure your downspouts kick the water at least 6 feet away from the house. That's the whole job that prevents the worst home repair bill you'll ever see. 8 on the list stops your whole house from burning down, and it's about that thing on your roof. Number 8 is sweeping the chimney. Every wood-burning fire leaves behind a black sticky tar called creosote, which coats the inside of your flue. The scary part is that dry creosote catches fire at the same temperature as paper, 450 degrees, while a normal fire in your fireplace hits 1,100 degrees easily. The NFPA tracks roughly 48,500 home heating fires every year, and failure to clean is the top cause. Heating fires kill almost 500 people a year. A contained chimney fire can hit 2,000 degrees and crack your flue invisibly, so the next normal fire you light spreads into your attic walls. NFPA code 211 says to inspect your chimney once a year. A sweep costs around $200, and a burned down house costs you everything. But there's a giant invisible hole in your wallet too, and number 7 closes it. Number 7 is weather stripping and air sealing. Energy Star says the gaps in a typical American house add up to the same amount of air as leaving a window wide open all year. All those tiny holes around windows, doors, attic hatches, and outlets on outside walls add up fast. Sealing them and adding insulation saves the average homeowner 15% on heating and cooling, which works out to hundreds of dollars every year. On a windy day, hold a candle or a thin tissue near every window and door and watch the flame dance. That's your money flying out. Hit those gaps with a weather strip, a tube of caulk, or a $5 foam gasket for outlets on outside walls. This used to be a fall ritual everybody did before winter, but most homes haven't been sealed since the day they were built. At number 6 is a 10-second move that almost everyone still forgets. Number 6 is reversing your ceiling fan. Number 5 is caulking tubs, sinks, and windows. That little white line of caulk runs around your bathtub. your kitchen sink, and the inside of your windows. When it cracks, gets moldy, or peels away from the wall, water starts going behind the tile and into the subfloor. You won't see it for a year, sometimes two. Then one day you press on the floor next to the tub and it gives because the whole subfloor is rotten. Now you're ripping out a bathroom for 10 grand instead of squeezing out a $5 tube of caulk. The trick people miss is removing the old stuff first, scrape it all out, let the area dry, then run a fresh bead and smooth it with a wet finger. Use silicone for anything that gets wet. Number 4 is what most homeowners are too embarrassed to admit they can't do. Number 4 is patching drywall. A small hole the size of a doorknob costs you $10 to $30 in a kit. A handyman charges $60 to $100 for the same hole, plus a minimum trip fee on top. Buy a self-adhesive metal patch and a tub of joint compound. Slap the patch over the hole. Spread the compound on top with a putty knife in 3 thin coats, letting each one dry before the next. Sand it smooth, then prime and paint. Your kid put a doorknob through the wall and you fix it for free. Your cousin left a futon-sized hole when he moved out. Same deal. Pulled off a TV mount and left 6 holes behind. Those are all free fixes. A 2024 survey said only 25% of Americans can confidently install a drywall anchor. Be in that 25%. 3 on the list is one your grandfather knew without thinking, and you've probably never tried it. Number 3 is finding a wall stud without a stud finder. Studs are the wooden boards inside your walls that hold up everything heavy, and they're spaced 16 inches apart almost always. Mount a heavy mirror, TV, or shelf into drywall alone, and it's coming down, often with chunks of wall. There are 3 free methods to find them. First, knock along the wall with your knuckle, and hollow sounds mean empty drywall, while solid thuds mean a stud is right there. Second, outlets and light switches are nailed to one side of a stud, so the stud sits right next to them. Third, look at the baseboard, where you can usually spot the tiny nail holes that show where each stud lives. You don't need a fancy beeping gadget because people hung paintings for centuries without one. Number 2 is the dullest looking thing on the list, but it might be the most useful. Number 2 is sharpening knives and mower blades. A dull kitchen knife is more dangerous than a sharp one. You press harder, the blade slips, and you're in urgent care getting stitches that cost $300. A dull lawn mower blade is even worse, because it rips the grass instead of cutting it, leaving brown jagged tips that invite fungus and disease into your lawn. The mower engine works harder, burns more gas, and dies years earlier. A whetstone for your kitchen knives costs $20 and lasts 20 years. For the mower, you pull the blade off, hit it with a metal file or a grinder, and it's sharp again in 15 minutes, twice a season. Your grandparents sharpened everything they owned: the scissors, the garden shears, the axe, the kitchen knives. Replacing tools instead of sharpening them is a weirdly modern thing. And the final skill is the one most likely to send you to the emergency room. Number 1 is using a ladder safely. The CPSC says over 500,000 Americans go to the ER every year from ladder accidents, and about 300 of them die every year from a ladder in their own backyard. And it's not what you think, because most fatal ladder falls happen from 10 feet or under. We're talking about cleaning gutters, changing a porch light bulb, or hanging Christmas lights. Half of all ladder accidents happen when someone's carrying something while climbing. The rules are simple, and you should never break them. Keep 3 points of contact at all times, which means 2 hands and a foot, or 2 feet and a hand on the ladder. The base goes 1 foot out for every 4 feet up. Never stand on the top 2 rungs, and never lean over to reach. Just move the ladder. Most people don't take a ladder seriously until the second they're already falling off one. Your grandparents knew about these because they had to. The good news is you can learn every single one of them in one weekend. Start with the main water valve today and just tag it. In the future, you will thank the present you. Subscribe for more skills like these.